internacionales. En el 2003, Alonso tuvo una exposición en Toronto, Canadá. Ella presentó su
Coming up on today's episode of Hitting the Field, we will be joined by Heath Gately. Then later on, rookie Ross Bernstein and Hitting the Field vet Kyle Partain to talk about some hoops and a new football league. This is Hitting the Field.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated chance, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back. Okay, always locked in, now I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batting 1,000 when you check the stats. Boy, is you ready? You ain't gotta ask.
Welcome, everyone. I'm your host, Jessica Herman, and here next to me is the one and only Heath Gately. Before we get into our basketball and football talk, we're going to talk a little hockey. You know, the real sport out there. Well, let's get right into it. There are many teams that are making that final playoff push. Every game is valuable, every point. Heath, who's the team that's just barely going to make it?
So my team for barely going to make it this year is going to be the Chicago Blackhawks. I think they had a really poor middle season. They started off really good.
That could be an understatement.
And then Patrick Kane started playing really well for them. So I feel like at this point he's in Art Ross contention. I don't know if he'll necessarily win it, but he's pushing them to an insane run.
Well, he's probably playing the best hockey he's played in a very long time. Don't get me wrong, he's one of the best players in the league. But it's unfortunate that he's having a heck of a season when his team is not having a heck of a season.
Well, I feel like part of the reason his team isn't having a great season is because his defense is just not great right now. You still have the Seabrook and Keith pairing, but they're so much older than they were during most of their playoff runs that I feel like their team isn't capable of maybe hiding some of their poor goaltending right now. They have Cam Ward as their starter.
Who's Cam Ward?
I mean, he's, finals MVP Cam Ward. He's the GOAT. But he hasn't been good in like 14 years. Every team convinces themselves Cam Ward's going to be good this year. This is going to be his year. But he is
You think it's going to be Cam Ward's year?
No, he's having his one good month, but he's having his good month at the same time that Patrick Kane's having his good month.
Right.
So they've kind of synced that up a little bit to where they can hide their rookie and younger defenders.
So put it in the background. I mean, like with they fired Quinville, and then it's like everyone hates them. It's like you don't really know what's going on with Chicago right now. So, I mean, they're definitely in the contention for making playoffs, but I chose Vancouver.
That's a solid pick. They've got Pedersen. He's playing really well. They've gotten some production out of some unknown players like Josh Libo. So, I mean, I can see why they're right in there. But I feel like the problem with them is because they have such a young core. Once you get towards the end of the season, I feel like they might fall apart a little bit.
Okay, I see what you're saying on that because they always talk about in playoffs you want someone that's a veteran that's been there before that they can tell them, hey, you should do this, hey, you should do that, love your playing style, just words of wisdom, you know what I mean? Because when you're so young, you're 20 years old, like here I am, 23, I don't even know what I'm making for breakfast, and here these guys are playing hockey at the speed of lightning. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Vancouver, but I also wrote they're very young, but I think the injuries are more against them than age.
Well, also, I feel like with the team, we're going back to Vancouver real quick, they're a team that relies so heavily on goaltending that in playoffs, that's going to come back and not help them out very much. Or a team like Chicago isn't relying on their goaltending, they're relying on veterans. So I feel like they have more of an advantage in terms of playoff-style hockey.
Okay. All right, well, All right, another year where these young rookies are making a name for themselves, and we just spoke about one. A player you hear about all the time, turning heads and scoring some unreal goals, is Elias Peterson. He's a Vancouver player, currently 54 points in 49 games. He basically made it clear he's winning the Calder Memorial Trophy. It's an annual award given to the best rookie in the league. Do you see him being the future of the NHL, or is he just off to a hot start?
I think he's off to a hot start. I'm not going to say, in someone's rookie year, he's not the future of the NHL. But the NHL is a league where players can fall off drastically.
His sophomore slump is a real thing.
And sometimes it's like rookie slump. They get hot the sophomore year, and then years like 4 and 5, they're like a 30-point third liner. So, maybe I'm like thinking about maybe like Thomas Vanek. He had 84 points his second season, but he's more of like a career 50 guy, right? So sometimes it's just a matter of being a good rookie on a bad team.
It's kind of ironic you say that because you see that all too much, and it's almost unfortunate because, well, perfect. I guess would you put Connor McDavid in his first season in that conversation? Because
I feel like McDavid's consistently produced so far, so I
completely and entirely agree.
So I feel like there's really not too much of a comparison yet. So I feel like for Pettersson, it's more what does he do seasons 2 and 3, and how is he able to lead a team going forward?
I like how you mentioned that. But yeah, no, that makes sense because like what we said, 49 points and. He's got more points than he does game, and he's a two-way forward. But next year, will that continue?
And I don't want to maybe ignore some of the other potential Calder candidates because I feel like what Partain has is he's played so many more games than the other ones.
I think he played in the Swedish league, so he's played professional hockey.
You've got Carter Hart playing in Philadelphia,
20 years old,
and he's playing in San. You have Binghamton on the St. Louis Blues. He's a rookie goaltender. So I feel like this has really been the year of rookies for teams to make their surprise runs because. At the beginning of the season, a lot of teams thought they had their players locked, and then they've had these just players with brand new production. They had no idea that some of these guys were going to be so good.
Well, Mitch Marner, when he got drafted, they were talking about Dylan Strome. He's been in the league for, I believe, 2 years now. But when he was a rookie, he was drafted first, second, or third. I'm pretty sure he was third. But Mitch Marner was drafted later than him, and he's having a heck of a season, and he's had heck of seasons. Where Strome, his rookie year, was supposed to be this huge name. He did nothing. He got sent down.
Another one you can look at is maybe Kucherov. He was in the 70s, drafted in the second round, and he's one of the best players in the league right now.
Arguably could be the best.
Yeah.
Arguably.
So I'm saying it doesn't really matter necessarily sometimes your draft position. Or his first year, he was scratched all the time. So you can never tell off the rookie.
You really can never tell. You really can never tell. But I loved this conversation. Well, that's all the time we have for this segment. So stick around because we have so much more in store. Not bad.
Dave Jeffrey, attorney at law. Has your favorite team ever left you feeling sad, disappointed, or even a little angry? Don't you feel like you should be compensated for it? Just take a look at these real testimonials from my real clients. After Tyrod Taylor led the Bills to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years, I was the happiest I'd ever been. And then the Bills traded him, and I wanted to die. But thanks to Dave, I found my will to live again. Yo, Kevin Durant's a bitch. When he said his mom was the MVP, I was so pissed. He put up 30 a game, not her. Same time, I knew my boy Dave would be able to get me some quick cash. Thanks, Dave Jeffrey. I've helped millions of people, and chances are I might be able to help you too.
I hate David Jeffries. My whole family died in a car crash, but he gave all my money away to a Saints fan. Because of some blown pass interference call. Thanks, Dav.
Aren't you mad when KD went to the Warriors?
Nah. That's pretty chill. Give me a call at 888-888-888, crying emoji, and I can fix your sports misery too.
Please call the number on your screen today if you are experiencing any grief, sadness, or even if another fan has hurt your feelings. All you have to do is provide your credit card number, the 3 silly digits on the back, and the expiration month and year. This is not a scam. Doop-de-doop.
Yo, guys, I can't even imagine what it's like to be a Saints fan right now.
Dude,
I'd be so
guys,
mad.
I can't believe that ridiculous no call.
Bro, I'm puzzled. If they would have made that call, who do you think would have been in the Super Bowl? The Saints would have been the Super Bowl. Come on now.
The refs, they need to be punished.
Oh, hey guys. Did you see my missed call last week? Could have sent that team to the championship. I guess not.
I can't take this anymore.
What's up with this guy? Welcome back to Hitting the Field. Joining me on set to talk about some NBA All-Star action and more is Hitting the Field vet Kyle Partain and our rookie over here, Ross Bernstein. Ross, how excited are you for your debut?
Very excited to talk sports with my man Kyle. We're going to talk about some basketball, All-Star Weekend. Super excited to be here. It's going to be awesome.
I like the atmosphere. All right, so a lot has happened over the weekend, and we're just going to speculate and see what we got. Between Jason Tatum beating Trae Young in the skills challenge with the half-court heave, or Joe Harris shockingly winning the three-point contest over Steph Curry, or, I'm so sorry, I'm going to butcher this, Amadou Diallo winning the dunk contest. Sorry, guys. And you can't forget about the Rising Stars Challenge. Kyle, what was your favorite moment of that All-Star weekend?
Well, my favorite moment of today was you trying to pronounce that, but
you want to say it better for me real quick?
Amadou Diallo?
Okay, there we go.
No, I think actually his dunk over Shaq, the Shaq dunk, was probably my favorite part of the weekend. I mean, that was nasty. That was a nasty dunk. That dude is huge, and it was just, I didn't think he was going to make it, to be honest. I really didn't think he was going to be able to dunk over him. So that was the highlight of the dunk contest, in my opinion. But, I mean, there was also, Giannis's performance in the All-Star game was awesome, 38 points. I mean, that's one of the better performances ever in the All-Star game. So.
The Greek Beast.
The Greek Beast, yeah.
I like him.
No, that was awesome.
What about you over here?
Definitely the Wade lob to LeBron. That's classic Wade and LeBron. I'm a Heat fan. I miss that.
I was about to say, that's throwback Miami Heat.
It's good times, good winning times. And honestly, they're just a connection, a brotherhood. They came in the same draft. Sadly, Dwayne Wade has to lead after this year. I personally think he could play another 3-4 years, but that's besides the point. I just think it's great to watch, and watching two veterans, two future Hall of Famers, you can't ask for more.
I literally got chills hearing that.
It was good to see the nostalgia.
Yes.
Seriously, though.
I'll give him
Definitely.
When you have, that's like classic players coming back together. Well, I think we can all agree the biggest part of the All-Star weekend is the All-Star game itself. Team LeBron ended up defeating Team Giannis by the final score of 178-164. Ross, what were some of your takeaways from that game?
Well, the outcome was not surprising to me. If you looked at LeBron's team, look at Giannis' team, everyone could tell you LeBron's team was going to win. They called him lead GM for a reason, and this is a good reason. Giannis honestly surprised me. The whole team really came together. It seemed like they were more of a team in the first half, but the star power of Team LeBron, second half, they just took over. And the partnership between Giannis and Middleton, you could tell that they really had a thing going, but you're not going to beat LeBron. LeBron knows what he's doing.
What do you say, Kyle?
I mean, you can beat LeBron if you're the Golden State Warriors, so it is possible. But at the same time, yeah, I think the star power for Team LeBron was it was too dominant from the get-go. The draft, everyone had a feeling that starting lineup was just way too talented. Honestly, the game was very little defense, which is what I expected, and it wasn't as entertaining as last season.
I was about to say, do you think that they were really trying full throttle? Of course not, but to what degree were they?
No, it wasn't as entertaining as last season, because last season actually ended with good defense. It was actually a close game and ended with defense. This time there was no defense. We see him passing up wide open shots just to get another flashy offensive three.
Of course. Look nice out there.
Yeah, it wasn't a defensive game. Obviously, that's the All-Star game for you. But, I mean, it just wasn't as entertaining to me. I mean, it was cool to see see Team LeBron come back in the second half, down 20. I didn't expect him to come back, to be honest. But again, it was nice to see it come back. It made it more interesting. I thought it was going to be a blowout at halftime, so certainly made it more interesting in my opinion.
Okay, well, we're a little over the midway point of the NBA season, and there's been plenty of debate about the MVP award, whether it should go to Greek freak Giannis Antetokounmpo, don't make fun of me, I said that very well, or James Harden. Guys, who should be the MVP? Kyle, start with you on this one.
I hate this question. Who should be the MVP? Probably not James Harden. But James Harden's going to win it. It's a stat padding award now. It's all about the numbers at this point. I think there are players that are having better seasons in their own perspective than Harden. But at the end of the day, Harden's putting up 37 points per game. He's shooting 44% from the field, 8 assists per game. And those are equal to or better than his career averages. So again, it's not like Harden's having a bad year. I do think he's having a really great year. But
you just don't.
It's a numbers game. That's all the MVP is now. So I think people like LeBron is by far the most valuable player to his team. Giannis is the most valuable player to his team.
So when does it become a conversation with, all right, so who else is in the running? Because you do say it's a points game. So if it's the same, you always see the same names with the same points usually every year. And there's always that one player where they have a freak year, you know what I mean? So how do you go from there?
I don't know. I honestly, I don't know how to solve the problem. It's.
You see what I'm asking, though, right?
I totally get it. I totally get it. It's a weird award because it's not what it used to be.
Right.
And it's a shame in my opinion. It's a shame because it's not about who the best player in the league is. It's about who can, hog the ball the most during the game and,
You do hear debates about that a lot. You do hear debates about it a lot.
That's my take on it. Harden's going to win it. I don't think he should, but Harden is going to win.
Ross, what's your comment on that?
Completely disagree. He should win it, and he will win it.
Give me details why.
31 points, 31 games of 30 straight points, never been done before. Well, it's been done before, but not that often, especially in this era of the NBA. He's doing more for his one team than any team could do, than any other player could do. Giannis is having a great season. Good for Giannis. But James Harden's doing this on ISO plays. James Harden's taking the ball saying, I got this. Get out of my way. Eric Gordon, get out. Chris Paul's, if he's playing, get out. He's doing the most. He's top 5 in assists, top 5 in steals, top 5 in points. And the Rockets are just having a great season. I thought this would be maybe a year they go down. They lost Ariza. They lost a lot of the pieces, but as much as I'm not a D'Antoni fan, the offense seems to be working, and I guess working means give the ball to Harden, let him go. The season he's having will go down as one of the best seasons for that kind of role. One player taking over, that's really it's beyond impressive, honestly. And if I had to give a third place, I'd give it to Russell. And if we're gonna go stats, Russell should win it past 3 years, right? Triple-double, 3 straight seasons of triple-double that hasn't been done since, I think Oscar Robertson had 2.
So that's where that conversation comes in with, well, what do you do now? Because it becomes a points game. So does the system change, or can you have back-to-back people getting it?
I mean, I think system changing, we're going to give it to LeBron every year. He's obviously the most valuable player. He changes the whole franchise. Yep. Not only just the team, the franchise, the owners commit to him, most valuable. But you got to go by, it's a numbers game, and I think...
So you do think it's about the numbers?
I think it's about the numbers and
most
impact
valuable player
on your
is
team.
It's
about numbers and
statistics.
impact.
Well, but see, my thing is just you can impact without being on the score sheet.
Right. Completely agree.
You know what I mean? Because there's players that are hidden talents.
I agree, but the way Harden is doing it is on both ends. He's doing it by himself. I guarantee if you put Giannis on this Rockets team, said do the same thing, score, he would not have these stats.
You guarantee it?
Yeah, no way. He can't do it. He doesn't have a shot. How are you going to do it? You just lag off.
All right, guys, I love you both, but I know this is just going to get way too heated, so I'm going to skip on to the next one. Quickly before we go to our commercial break, give me your Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and Most Improved Player of the Year. I'll start with you again.
Well, Rookie of the Year is obvious. Luka Magic. Most Improved Player, Pascal Siakam from Toronto Raptors, having an incredible season. Came from basically nothing. I think he's only been playing basketball since he was 17. He's 24. Rookie of the Year, and then
if that's
Defensive
an
Player of the Year.
Stat, that's incredible.
Yeah. Most Improved. Which one was the last one?
It was
Defensive Player of the Year, Paul George. Paul George, easily Defensive Player of the Year. Incredible season. Great comeback.
Most Improved, I'm going to have to go De'Aaron Fox. Defensive Player, Giannis. And Rookie is obviously Luka Doncic. There's no debating that at this point.
Luka Magic.
Are you cool with his answers? Do you respect them?
I respect them, especially Luka Magic. #1 player.
Luka Magic, man.
Should have been an all-star.
We like it. Well, that's all the time we have for the NBA Hoops section, but when we return, we'll be talking about some football. Again, stay tuned to find out. Not too shabby.
Hi, I'm Dave Jeffrey, attorney at law. Has your favorite team ever left you feeling sad, disappointed, or even a little angry? Don't you feel like you should be compensated for it? Just take a look at these real testimonials from my real clients. After Tyrod Taylor led the Bills to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years, I was the happiest I'd ever been. And then the Bills traded him, and I wanted to die. But thanks to Dave, I found my will to live again. Yo, Kevin Durant's a bitch. When he said his mom was the MVP, I was so pissed. He put up 30 a game, not her. At the same time, I knew my boy Dave would be able to get me some quick cash. Thanks, Dave Jeffrey. I've helped millions of people, and chances are I might be able to help you too.
I hate David Jeffries. My whole family died in a car crash, but he gave all my money away to a Saints fan because of some blown pass interference call. Thanks, Dav.
Aren't you mad when KD went to the Warriors?
Nah, that's pretty chill. Give me a call at 888-888-888, crying emoji, and I can fix your sports misery too.
Please call the number on your screen today if you are experiencing any grief, sadness, or even if another fan has hurt your feelings. All you have to do is provide your credit card number, the 3 silly digits on the back, and the expiration month and year. This is not a scam.
Welcome back to Hitting the Field. Last week we were introduced to a brand new football league, a minor league to the NFL of sorts, the Alliance of American Football. It gives players the opportunity to play the game they love and maybe get a shot of making their way to the NFL. We've already had 2 weeks of action this far, so I want to know what your guys' early impressions of the league are, and also if you think this league will last. Kyle, I'm sorry, I'm going to kick Kyle off and go, well, I can't even talk today. Instead of Ross, I'm going to start with Kyle today.
I think, through 2 weeks, it's been a surprisingly successful league. I mean, attendance has been better than I expected, and the games have been entertaining. The teams certainly aren't lacking the entertainment value.
It's a new XFL.
Right. But, I mean, I don't think it has lasting power.
You don't think so?
I don't. I think the, I guess, for lack of a better word, the newness, the freshness of it's going to wear off after a season or two. And the league doesn't have the star power of the NFL, and that's the problem.
No, not at all.
People tune into the NFL to watch players like Tom Brady, to watch players like that, and that's something that the AAF doesn't have, and I think that's going to be a huge detriment to the league moving forward. I'm not sure it has staying power, even though it has been successful because it's new. I just don't think it has staying power.
Ross?
I have to agree. I don't think it has staying power, simply because they seem like to be smart and to pair with the NFL, think of kind of a G League, minor league. You can't do that with NFL players. NFL players have a very short lifespan in the NFL, especially running backs. If you have a running back that's going to play 3 to 4 years in the NFL, give him 3 years to develop, his knees are going to be shot by the time he gets there. I don't think it'll work. I really
feel
don't.
like this league sounds like a marketing thing to me.
The only way I could see it kind of working is a very small market. Like the Birmingham Irons seem like they're doing great. There's not a lot of football besides Alabama football to watch there. They're kind of bringing it, but you can't compete in big markets with the NFL.
Oh,
the NFL
not.
does not lose. The NFL has enough money and enough power that if they wanted the AAF out of here, they'll find a way to them out of here. So obviously we wish the best to them, and
Right.
at least these guys get to play some football and we get to watch some football, so can't complain. Can't complain.
Hot take, real quick. How many years is it going to last?
Ooh, I give it 4 years.
I'll give it my lucky number 5.
Okay,
I'll go
going an
6.
extra
I'll go
year.
with the over. Why not? Well, there are several rules that are different in this new league. For one, there are no kickoffs. A team can only go for 2-point conversions, and the play clock is shorter. Kyle, are you a fan of some of these rules?
I like going for 2. I think that makes it more entertaining.
It's more
I think-
action, for sure.
Right. I think it's better than seeing, kickers miss an extra point way too often. I think that's better. But I really can't stand the no kickoffs. I feel like I'm missing part of the game. I feel like they're coming back from a break too late, and it feels like I'm missing part of the game. Plus, kickoffs can be some of the most exciting plays in football.
You do see insane plays, and that's what
Right.
Sports Center top 10 plays is usually a kickoff play.
Right. So I think that's a really big concern of mine. It's not necessarily an issue, but it's a concern that that's something that takes away from part of what football is. I mean, that's a huge aspect. You're cutting out probably 60% of special teams, which is one of your 3 facets of a football team, and I don't think it's a good thing for football. I have an issue with that rule. That's about it.
I'm sure you're not alone on that, Ross.
I agree with the 2-point conversions. I think it's
Exactly
great.
my
Brings a
point.
little more of a dynamic where you don't have a choice. You're going to go for 2. So if you're down 2, you're going to go for 2. There's no field goals. I'm sick of the field goals being missed. I feel like they're chip shots. But I have to disagree with him on the no kickoffs. I enjoy that a lot.
Why?
Well, specifically because the NFL ruined kickoffs in the first place already by moving it back. So if we're not going to do them, I have no problem with that. It starts the game faster, kind of moves it along quicker, and I don't miss special teams. Also, it injures players a lot. So if we're going to go safety, that's a very big reason for that. And I just don't miss it. Like, I don't miss the returns. How many returns are there? 1 out of 200? I don't miss the excitement. And
Hold on, I have to ask you something. So you said you don't miss it because the NFL ruined it. So you're thinking get rid of it instead of fix it.
I understand the NFL ruined it, but I don't miss it. Like, they ruined it, and I was like, okay, I understand they did this, and they pushed it forward, and now they get out the end zone. But if you're going to move it back, I think the reason they did it, even though it ruined it, was to save injuries, and I understand it. And it does move it along faster. I've watched a couple games, and it just moves better. If you start the ball and you go, also the commercials between kickoffs, it's just not good for me. So I disagree. I think no kickoffs is fine, and yeah.
Okay, I think one of the big selling points of this league could be fix the problems, fix things that the NFL doesn't do entirely correct. That's why I like 2-point conversions so much. I think it's a better system for scoring. I think it's a better system for football. And I think you're going about things the wrong way if you take out something that doesn't work. If something doesn't work and you don't try and fix it, what's the point of doing something new?
And that's why they're in the first season, and I'm sure we're going to see a heck of a lot of changes. But So far, best of luck to that league. I got 6 years. You got 4?
I got 4.
And you got 5. So
Lucky number.
we'll get back to you in 6 years. There's been some really good action this far and good teams as well. Rosh, which teams are you most impressed with?
Definitely the Apollos, Orlando's
2-0.
hometown team. Yeah, we're looking good. The Hotshots out of Arizona are looking good. It's just a fun style of play, man. It's like kind of like college football, kind of like Arena League back in the day. It's kind of just fast, a little more physical, and you got to be in tune with the game. I love watching the replay. I love doing all of that. You just feel more of a part of it, where NFL kind of just leaves you high and dry. So definitely the Apollos, baby. Let's go.
Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm a little biased, but I do think the Apollos are the best team in the league. And also, equally as exciting is I think Birmingham's the number 2 team in the league, and they're both in the East. So they play each other twice, and there's potential to play again in the playoffs. And that possibility of a playoff matchup is really exciting because both teams have shown really solid defense. Orlando's got 2 pick-sixes in 2 games, and they're averaging 38 points on offense. So I do think the Apollos are the best team in the league.
Yeah.
And I think Birmingham's not too far behind. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. And then you mentioned Arizona. Arizona's pretty good. I want to give a shout-out to John Wolford. Went to my high school, so give him a starting quarterback shout-out.
That's pretty
from there.
sick.
Yeah, I know. Give him a shout-out out there. So, but at the end of the day, I think Orlando and Birmingham are the 2 best teams in the league.
Well, since the Orlando Apollos played our very own Spectrum Stadium, can you name some of your dream UCF players that you could envision playing for those Apollos? You want to start off?
That's a tricky one, but I'm going to have to go Dredrick Snelson. That would be really fun. I think he's really, really exciting. He would be a great addition to the team.
What
and
a
obviously
random
he's from
name.
here. I know. What can I say? But, you know, I think it would be really exciting. I think he would be a really great addition, and obviously UCF knows him. Orlando knows him very well.
Right.
It would bring crowd interest, and it's a win-win situation. I think it helped. Obviously, he's talented enough to help the team, and then the fact that he's, popular with UCF and Orlando fans brings attendance.
I think it's obvious. Blake Bortles. Seems like his time in Jacksonville's over with, and I think he needs to go to a more fun league, needs to try to experiment, because I don't think the NFL's for him. It's just a little too, I don't want to say smart, but it's just more schemed out. This is a little more open. I think it'll work out for him if he goes there, because it doesn't seem like it's working out at all in Jacksonville. No. So I would love to see him back at Spectrum Stadium, back where he belongs, and that'd be great to see, honestly.
I'm glad you said that last statement because I was totally about to come at you because last season, for those that you don't know, we totally made fun of Bortles, even though he is UCF, and we said Bortles is only good in London. So with that last comment, I'm glad you said that because I would have came right at you. But anyways, so are you cool with his response on his player?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I as a Jags fan, it hurts me to say that.
Of course it
because
does.
I like Blake, but he's not an NFL caliber quarterback. So I think it would be a great second chance.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's all the time we have right now. But when we get back, I'll have my night vision.
Good morning, fellas, except for Andre.
KG in the building.
James Harden is a stat pack.
That is not, you're right.
He's the best scorer.
He has 120 straight points now. Bro, 120 straight points now. He doesn't pass.
All right, let's do this. Let's get down to business, guys.
He's like Russell. You still got Aaron Gordon, PJ Tucker, and them boys. Come on now. What about Carl? You want to go back?
Tom Brady is the son.
Facts. I think it's kind of special, though.
What? What are you talking about, man? Crazy, man. Don't ever say that. This is your dad. What are you talking about?
Hi, guys. So back for my night vision. I'm going to chit-chat a little about the baseball team. So we just had a weekend series against Siena. They did absolutely great. They smoked them the whole way through. I was there the first game with Anthony Abruzzo, one of our vets. You all know him. Long story short, I jinxed it. We had a great game. I think it was 2-3. We were up, and then all of a sudden, our pitcher, our closer, let a little home run happen, and we got some action, and then Knights just basically sucked it up and got a homer right back. And actually, no, I lied. It wasn't a homer. It was a little lob ball up high, and then we had one base, and then somebody stealing. It was kind of sick. Don't really know baseball all that well, but I do like baseball. And I just want to give a shout out to the Knights. We're off for a great season, but that's really all the time that we have for today's episode. Keep in touch with us. Follow all of our sites, Instagram, Twitter, and stick with us next week. We'll be back at the same time, 12:15. Thanks, guys.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man.